day.
Well, today I wanted to talk about 3 ways to make more money. There's only 3 ways: students pay more often, or you just have more students. I mean, every way you do something, you're doing pro shop, you do anything, it falls into these 3 categories. So we want to kind of go over these 3 categories and see what each one means. What do students pay more often? We talked about that, I think 2 weeks ago. You want to go up like 5 pounds, I think, per month or whatever we decided. So that's one way they could pay more. So the first one, of course, is to increase membership fee. When I think of membership fee, I know it doesn't go as much with you because you're in a town where people can't afford to pay memberships in full. But the first thing I think is, instead of charging $600 for 6 months, I'm going to charge $720 for 6 months. So I don't think of the monthly fee as much as I do as the total fee, because one of the things that's going to increase my gross too is if every once in a while someone pays in full. If you increase your down payment, like right now, I believe when people come in, they give you how much their first class.
Well, when we went off the older prices, which were changing this month, it was a case of £60 for month 1 and then 45 thereafter.
Okay, what is the why extra 15?
It was just simply to cover our costs out of the equipment that they get. So they'll get the uniform and boxing gloves, and it was just to cover our costs.
Okay.
In case they left the next month, which we don't get, but yeah, that was the thinking behind it.
Okay, so if we can get more money when they first come in, of course, that's going to increase your monthly gross. So you can increase your down payment, like you charge 60, and that 15 includes the uniform and the boxing gloves. Or you could just say there is the first month is $60. What does that include? You can just say that includes a registration fee. That's to get you started, to do all the paperwork, get your registration fee. That's why it's the 60 pounds. And then you could sell as an equipment package the uniform, the boxing gloves. So what we do is, when someone signs up and I said, okay, your first month is $60, that includes your membership fee, or that includes your registration fee. Nice thing about martial arts is there isn't a lot of equipment. The equipment your child's gonna need will need a uniform. The uniforms with the shorts and a t-shirt?
For kids, we just give it a V-neck and trousers. Okay. The adults, I just give them a t-shirt.
How much does that cost you for the uniform?
The wife does all of this, but I think they're about £3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the boxing gloves cost you more money than the uniform?
Yeah, boxing gloves, it depends what kind of deals we get, but between 6 and 10.
Okay. Do you like to have your students have any other things? Uniform patches? Is there anything else that they should have when they start off?
For the basic class, we don't do any weapons. We just have, that's the only equipment that we do currently use. When they go up to the black belt club, we'll do some sticks, a bit of a single stick, a screamer. We've done some nunchucks. This quarter, pardon me, just to go back, was meant to be a screamer, but because it's close contact, we'll change it to nunchucks.
Okay.
And then we'll also do the cameras as well, but that's normally when they go up to the next program.
Right. Things I like my students to have, I want them to have a t-shirt. Usually I like to have them have 2, so the mother doesn't have to wash it after every class.
So you can sell an extra one on top of the first one type of thing.
Yeah. Right, yeah. I like to have a uniform. So a uniform and at least 1 t-shirt. The gloves, because the gloves are important because they protect the kids' fingers and knuckles. And when kids are growing, we want to make sure that's protected. So that's like safety equipment. I like to have them have some type of target to hit at home. So when they're kicking at home, they're not just kicking air. So we sell those inexpensive ones that you just hold in your hand.
Yeah, like a paddle.
Yeah, either paddle. We just have foam ones too.
Yeah,
Paddles.
this is a great idea, because one problem I have, especially now with social distancing, is we give them a uniform. We know in a week or 2 weeks' time they're going to buy the t-shirt, which at the minute is just more work, you know. So if I could sell it all as a package straight away, it's less work for me 2 weeks' time.
Right. Plus, when people are excited about joining something, they want that extra equipment.
Yeah.
It's like I like to go bowling. I don't know if they bowl in England, but
Now and then.
I go bowling, and so when I go to bowling alley and I joined a team, the first thing I want to do is buy bowling shoes, bowling ball. I want to buy a towel to do my hands. I want to have a bag to bring it back and forth. I didn't think that was an expense. I just wanted that stuff because you just wanted the best stuff you can to do bowling. With the equipment, a lot of it's for safety. Even the paddle at home, it stops the kids from hyperextending their knee. Mm-hmm. And it's a way to build power because they actually have contact with something. And it gets the parents involved because the parents hold it. I just say, if you do it for 5 minutes a day and they kick that paddle, it's really going to build their accuracy and strength and to protect their knees. Mm-hmm. So this is all stuff they need. They need that to protect their knees. They need the gloves to protect their hands. We include a mouthpiece because when the kids start hitting towards each other, you're not sparring now, so that may not be necessary. I like the kids to have shin pads. So when they're learning how to kick things, you know, they're not hurting their shins. Mm-hmm. Now, all this stuff may cost 40 pounds or whatever it's going to be, but that'd be a way to collect more money on your first month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I give the people a discount if they buy it that day as a package. If they don't want to buy it that day, I ask them to please buy it within the first month. Mm-hmm. So if you want to just buy things as you go along, you can buy as you go along. If you want to buy it today, we give a discount. It's a new student package.
And could I just pick your brains on this thinking? So I'm loving what you're saying, especially with the equipment, because I find it's always the mother who brings the kid, but the dad seems to be the one who makes the money, you know. This is in general. Yeah. So if the dad has some equipment at home to play with his, you know, son or daughter with, gets him a bit more involved, because we don't always see the dads as much. It's normally the moms picking them up. Mm-hmm. But I love the idea of that. What do you think of so say you join up, registration fee £60, that covers your first month, blah blah blah, that's the same. We've now got two options. I could sell them a cheap option of just uniform and boxing gloves, or the full package where you get uniform, boxing gloves, t-shirt and paddle. Or would you just have one?
Yeah, so you can have a package A, which is a basic package, and we have a deluxe package that includes when you present it, I always present the safety. You know, so you want the kids to practice at home. Your husband maybe can just hold out his hand. We actually like to have them kick a pad so they can work on their power, and it sounds really cool. It gives them that extra energy, plus it protects their knees. Mm-hmm. You know, the shin pads, you know, just because if they do happen to clash shins, it does hurt. It's not going to break their shins or anything like that, but it's really nice to have that protection. That protection is going to increase their self-confidence. They're, you know, not so worried about getting hurt. They're going to kick harder, and it's just great for their self-confidence. Yeah. So it's not just buy this stuff because it's cool, but it's buy this stuff because there's a reason behind it.
And no one wants to feel like a parent that isn't concerned. You know, so they're like, oh, well, if you think it's going to be safer, then okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So think about that, doing a package. I do a sling bag too. So some type of bag where they can carry their stuff back and forth from the school.
Yeah. It's been something that we've been lazy about. We've had many parents ask us to do bags. No, I'll get a bag sometime. But just to reiterate why I'm happy to continue and I want to continue is you put a post up on your coaching page. The 4 type of school owners, you know. There's the one who wants as much time as the one, you know, the first option. That's been me for a long time now. I've been very happy, and I really appreciate my time off. But I think something over lockdown changed, and I feel like I just want to grow more. Mm-hmm. And all of this is this is what I'm after, and this is paying off straight away. So Even if the call ended right now, I've learned something, and this is going to implement to, over the next week or so.
Yes. Collecting paid in fulls, that doesn't seem like a real option for you. Even if you just mentioned that, there's a way to save 10%, 20%, whatever you want to do. If you prepay 6 months at a time, there's a 20% discount. I know that I could sell that all day here because a lot of people don't want to have bills, and most people just put it on their credit card or something. So like if our program for 6 months is $1,000 or $995. If they pay in full, it's 20% off. So it's only $795 if they pay in full instead of $995. So they save $200 by paying it in full. So since they get that discount, a lot of people pay in full. When I say a lot, 20 to 40% of people coming in will pay in full.
And how much discount did you say you usually offer?
20%.
Or 20%. And would you only offer that to new students?
Well, we do that on upgrades too.
So if they're going for that, what we're talking about, the extra package, like the XMA or whatnot, then you offer it on that.
I'm not a real fan of upgrades. I like to do add-on programs. An add-on program is like we talked with you when you do your certified instructor training. So they're not really upgrading the program. They're adding on another class that has a purpose. And so that just adds on monthly. I'd rather do that than do an upgrade, because usually an upgrade is changing everything.
Yeah.
And so we do add-on classes. So the certified instructor training could be an add-on class.
I feel more comfortable with that. I've got a great rapport with all my students, and I feel more comfortable selling an add-on than I do trying to upgrade, so if it's, an additional extra, that's rather than pushing them to something else. So that works. I feel more comfortable with that.
Student pays more often. We talked about this already. When we talk about a pro shop is like selling equipment. When you put together your package is going to be a lot of your pro shop items, because when people first come in, they're going to buy a package. But pro shop items are really good. A lot of the instructors overlook like selling uniforms every 6 to 12 months, especially with a little kid. My grandson, he's probably been through 4 uniforms in 2 years because he grows so fast.
Yeah.
His pants are always short. I go, okay, let's get him a new uniform. So having those things, and not only having them, but suggesting them.
Yeah.
So when you have a receptionist at your front door and someone's come in and go, I can't believe how fast David's growing. Look how short his uniform is. Would you like us to order you a new one? Great.
Because when you're telling me these things, I'm realizing what I'm not doing. I've never once sold a uniform unless the parent has asked us, can I get a new one?
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever sold them. I've never sold one. I've put the order through. I've placed it. But yeah.
Quarterly weapons, it sounds like you're doing that. So with quarterly weapons, they're buying a new weapon every 3 months?
With the rotating curriculum that we've got in the Black Belt Club is to do an empty hands form, then a weapons, then an empty hands, then a weapons. Yeah.
Okay.
So
every 6 months they're buying weapons?
Yeah.
Do they have to buy the weapon, or do you have weapons?
We tell them they don't, but I do sell them very cheap. I don't make much money off them. So they all buy them though. Yeah. It's very rare a child won't have one.
We used to have weapons for everyone to use. And then we had upgraded or really nice weapons for people who wanted to buy them.
Yeah.
So like when we used to do a bow staff, I would just use like PVC pipe or something like that. And so they had something they could use. But if they wanted to buy a bow staff, then they could buy their own bow staff, take it home and practice it at home. If they're using the one in the school, they're just using it and they have to leave it there.
Yeah, they don't get to practice at home.
Yeah. I just wanted that in case I had people come in that couldn't afford the weapons. I didn't want them to perceive that they had to buy all this stuff all the time. Well, yeah. I want them to buy stuff just because they want to have it, not because they need it for class.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do weapons like that, it's not like I have a lot in stock. If we started bow staff, I would have like a sheet comes out. There's 3 different types of bow staffs they could have, like a competitive bow staff that weighs like 2 ounces, or they can get this one or that one. And then people would order them, pay for them. Then I would order them from the supplier. And when they came in, they gave them to the students.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to buy a lot of stuff and have stuff in stock that I couldn't sell. So everything was pre-ordered. It's like before you start your new cycle, you have a nice sales sheet that you give out to everyone. Okay, we're doing this weapon, and these are the choice of weapons you can get. This is the finest, the lightest. It's kind of competitors really like this, and this choice. So two or three suggestions.
I think we'll look at getting the upgrades, because we don't give it out for them to use, but I've got them the cheapest of the cheapest to make sure they buy it. Whereas what I can do is say, here's the cheapest one, because the cameras that we got, the £14, the bow staffs are the nunchucks are £10. They're all right, but we could do the more expensive ones and make profit off of them, and right. I'm sure people will be interested in paying.
Yeah, so you start selling them, and just like that, just give them a choice.
Yeah, I'll do that, because I've never given them a choice. I've just given them a basic option.
Right. So when students pay more often, what we talked about paying more often was when every 3 months they have a chance to do that leadership class.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're paying more often, because now every 3 months they're going to pay for that, or some people are going to pay for that. The quarterly weapons, Parents Night Out, they're paying extra for the set of regular classes. They're paying for Parents Night Out. Pro shop items, we talked about with packages. Other pro shop items, I usually try to design a new t-shirt either every 3 months or every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't order a bunch of those. I usually put a sales sheet out. People prepay for them. Then I order the ones I need, just so I don't have things left over.
Yeah.
Enrolling more students. I don't know how you enroll students. I think you said you did some Facebook and things like that. Plus, everyone in town knows where you are. You have that real nice sign on your building.
Mm-hmm.
There's what we call the Lighthouse Analogy. So, if you go to a port, you have tugboats and you have a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Tugboat marketing is like, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to, like a tugboat, I'm going to go out into the ocean. I'm going to tie onto the ship. I'm going to bring the ship into the port. That's like my new student. And then I'm going to drop it off. I'm going to go out in the ocean again, tie into another ship, bring it back in. So that's like going for student at a time. The lighthouse doesn't do all that. The lighthouse does 2 things. One, it's stationary and it shines. So people are attracted to it. You want to become the lighthouse in your town. So when people think of martial arts for self-defense, they're going to think of Tempest. Mm-hmm. If they're thinking of a martial arts school that just gives back to the community, is always doing community events, that's Tempest. If you want to go to have your child learn self-confidence and self-esteem, that's Tempest. If I want to lose weight, I'm going to go to Tempest, because they do everything and they do it the best. Mm-hmm. And not only that, they have raving fans for students. Mm-hmm. When you buy something online, like I buy stuff on Amazon, I go to Amazon. I don't read what Amazon says about the product. I read the reviews.
Yeah.
What people say is more important than what Amazon says. So when you have raving fans that are always talking about your school, go, man, this school is incredible. Instructors are really, really good. Man, that head instructor is so friendly. He's always looking for the best of my students. He's always providing so much value. You want to become so incredibly good that people are attracted to you.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when I talk to them, they say, I just want a lot of leads. I'm going to do Facebook marketing. I just want leads. I don't want leads. I want students. Yeah. And I want students because I had so much value. My class is so incredibly good. I'm so good at enrolling. That's how I want to get new students. Mm-hmm. So you'll see a lot of times I'll post, be the lighthouse. Well, be the lighthouse is to be what I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
I've got a friend in town, Jack Lord. He's got a kids martial arts school. His kids do a lot of demonstrations and things, and the kids are really, really good. And they're all decked out in real sharp uniforms. Man, I want my kid to be like that. So, he's attracted. He does fundraisers for school systems. Last year at my church, he set up a thing for Halloween, and he had all these games for kids to do. And so people go to the church, and all of a sudden they're doing trick-or-treating, and they get to see this guy, and they do a demonstration, and they have games for the kids. So he's really, if you want something positive for your kids to do, I would go to Superstar Martial Arts or All-Star Martial Arts.
I like the idea of doing something fundraising and positive for the community, because with everything you've said, I feel like I try to do at least, except from that, I've never really attempted anything, outside of my own building. Well, actually, I used to do a lot of work with a special needs school, just because they're on my same wavelength. We've got a few students that we teach with autism, so there's an autistic school down the road. But other than that, I've never done much for the community, and I feel like I probably should, just to help, but also, like you say, to be that lighthouse. Everything else works well, but I've never done that. So
Craig Haley's got a school probably about 20 miles from me, and his wife is really, she loves to run. And so she's got a running club within the martial arts school. So the martial arts school, everyone meets on Saturday morning and they all run together. And if there's any type of run, they go in as a team for elite martial arts or elite force martial arts. They'll enter as a team. And then they started sponsoring runs. So now they have like a 5K run sponsored by the Elite Force Martial Arts. So they sponsor their own run. All these runners from all over the place come. They give trophies. They have water stations. So people in town see them as fitness people, and they just attract people because there's younger women that are in this running club. There's younger guys. They're healthy. They're in good shape. People want to be around people like that.
Yeah, and I'm a big runner myself, and so that's up my street. That's something I'll be interested in. But yeah.
And he puts running as part of the black belt test. So the kids have to run, I think, 1 mile for first degree, 2 miles for second degree, things like that. So, they have a running club for them too as they start getting to testing.
Oh, that's great. We've done a little bit with the park run. We used to run some boot camps, some guys losing weight. We've done that, and it worked well. We all went with t-shirts on, and and spoke to people. But maybe it's to make that was just a one-off. Maybe it's to make that a more regular occurrence.
Here's another way you can be a lighthouse. If you have something in your area where people are trying to raise money for it. So I don't know what it's going to be. Someone's trying to raise money for something in town. So what you do is you have like cards made up that is, say, Tempest Martial Arts is helping raise money for the autism school. We're accepting donations. With your donation, you'll get 2 free classes at Tempest Martial Arts. Cool. So now you give all these cards to your students, and your students go out as a fundraiser. So they're collecting like 10 pounds or 5 pounds, whatever it is. They give the card to someone. So now the people are giving a 5 pound donation. And as a thank you from Tempest Martial Arts, they're getting 2 weeks of martial arts classes for free.
That's great.
So now you have 100 students. Even if they just sold, half of them sold 2 of them, that's still 100 cards that are going out that now people have a 2-week trial program at your school.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, you're not selling the program, you're doing something good for the autism school, which is part of your lighthouse. Your students are doing it. So now your students are telling 3 or 4 of their friends all about where they take martial arts, and they're giving you that testimonial that we talked about.
Yeah, this is great. We did do a big charity event a couple of years ago, but I didn't implement any of the extras like you're saying. We just, come have some money. We've done 24 hours on the bag for a friend's child who needed an operation. But yeah, it was just a case of asking for a donation. There was nothing on top of that helped us as a business. So it's good to help both, help someone, but get the recognition for it, or the free classes is great. As a thank you for the donation, I love that.
Yeah, because it's just like, hey, as a thank you, we're trying to say thank you, so you're getting this.
It's not salesy.
Nope.
And I'm not a salesy kind of guy. I did work in sales for a little while, and I didn't like it. I just believe honesty's always got me so far with my sales.
Right.
But just being smarter. This isn't being salesy. This is just being smart. And I love that idea. Thank you. That's a great one.
Now, I have a meeting coming up in like 7 minutes, so I'm going to have to go pretty soon. One of the things that I really want, I had to go over your numbers today because I know you've been on vacation, things like that. It's really important to know your student value. Mm-hmm. Your student value is your monthly gross divided by active students. Active students are people that are actually taking classes or paying and not taking classes. So if maybe you didn't see them in a week, but they're still paying, we still count them as active students.
Yeah.
Because they haven't quit yet. So you take your gross, you gross 6,000 pounds, you have 150 students, so that'll give you like a $45 student value. So the reason student value is because when we go back to the beginning slide of this, 3 ways to make more money. Students pay more often, enroll more students. That's how you increase your student value. Mm-hmm. So like this month, your student value is going to go up because you're doing that leadership class. Mm-hmm. So you've got an extra 1,000 or 1,200 pounds by that class, so your student value is going to go up. Now we have to think what we're going to do in October to keep the student value that high. Because, okay, you don't have that class, we don't want it to just drop. One of the things that we did to prevent that is you start to figure out how to get these people to go into regular monthly tuition. So if you get 15 of those students to continue with the CIT class, well, now we're going to get more monthly tuition, so that's going to help. Mm-hmm. I have a student, Tom Baker. What he does is every month he has a revenue generating event. So 1 month, it's the leadership class. The second month, he does a inter-school tournament. And the third month, he does testing. So then it goes back, now he does his leadership. So every month, there's an opportunity for students to do something that they want to do. I don't know what yours are going to be yet, but we want to start thinking of how we can rotate something that is of value to the students.
Yeah. So I would always have on the third month, the graduation, which is a nice money maker.
Right. Okay. So now you have two. Now you have your leadership class, you have your graduation, and so then we got to think of one more for that next month.
Yeah, I'll get something for that. Mm-hmm. So I've previously done weapons seminars, but I can think of something, no problem. I'll get something good for next week for that. But I was thinking of doing the leadership program every 4 months. So it'd be like once a quarter.
Okay.
So I might have a couple so I can rotate them. So if maybe I've had 4 or 5 events, not including the graduation. So it's always something new. So maybe it's every time I can sell again. But I'll come up with some good ideas before next week. I feel.
It's like when we talk about the leadership class, it's actually 4 a year if you do it once a quarter. So you're doing 4.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have 4 graduations. I don't want to see a lot of little things. I like to see something major each month. Mm-hmm. Because if you start a lot of little things, people start thinking you're charging for way, way too much. It's like if I'm going to do a parent side out, I'm going to do a seminar, I'm going to do this. That's too much small stuff. We want something that's going to bring in a little bigger amount.
They're paying too often.
Yep, they're paying too often, and we call in the United States we call that nickel and diamond. So you're trying to take every nickel and dime from them. So we don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Plus, although I want to grow, I do enjoy my free time.
Yep.
I'd be happier doing, more valuable work, but less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, some people, birthday parties is a big thing. So, every quarter I'm going to make sure that month I'm going to really concentrate more on parties, or we'll think of something.
Yeah, great. I'll have some ideas and spit them idea next week.
All right, sir, I've got to go because I do have another meeting.
No problems at all. I really appreciate the day. I've been very insightful, but I do wish to continue. If you can just charge us through the Get Students or the Black Belt license.
Perfect.
Next week or whenever you do get a moment, I'll be very quick. I believe when we went over the leadership course, you mentioned in case I go too fast, you had extra content, like a 101 thing, just a backup plan.
Yeah.
I was wondering if at some point you could send it, please.
Okay, I'll get that out to you. Did you get the books yet?
I was just about to say I still haven't received them. As soon as I do, I will drop you a message.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's anything I can do to chase up my end.
I'll just have to go back to place and have them do a trace on it, see where it is.
All right, but I don't know I know they're I follow my politics and I've seen stuff with the mail, so I wasn't sure if it could take a little longer or whatnot. But anyways, I'll let you get on, but thank you very much for today.
All right, sir, thanks.
Take care, bye-bye.
Bye now.